Hi, everybody, and welcome back to New York Wedding Jam, the podcast for modern couples. I'm your host, Jason Alisea, and I'm joined by my co host, Martine Darniak. Hi, Martine.
Hey Jason, how's it going?
It's going well. How about you?
Not too bad. I was hanging out with my niece this afternoon. She gave me a sticker. A little
What
group I've never heard of here.
what does the
What
sticker
is it?
say?
I don't know. It's about something about like
Active
the
Beyond?
octonauts above and beyond.
Octonauts.
Octonauts. I've never heard of
Okay.
the octonauts before, so I can't even tell you what they're about. But she was happy to give me a sticker, and I felt like it went really well with my shirt. So
Well, that's good. My kid is a little bit older. I've heard of the Octonauts. My kid is a little bit older than that. He's playing PlayStation and Fortnite, and I think he's beyond the Octonauts. But
that's fair. That's fair.
but yeah, um,
How about yourself, Jason? How's the week going?
very good. I had a weekend off with no weddings, and I
Nice.
just got to spend some time with my family and go to the mall, and so that was
The
fun. Did a little,
mall.
yeah,
Aw, that
yeah.
feels so 90s, you
Oh
know?
yeah, it was 90s. Yeah. We're getting ready for a trip to one of the islands in the Caribbean.
Very cool.
So we're kind of buying some clothing, getting ready for that trip and everything. So yeah, that's nice. That's good.
Oh, that's cool. A trip sounds good. I need to plan a trip. At this point, I'm getting a little feel
Like
missing my
landlocked.
yeah, a little bit. So
I
that
haven't
might
been
be a trip
anywhere in a
plan here.
while. I'm also going to my sister's wedding next in October. So
Right.
amidst, I'm gonna have a very busy fall wedding wise, but right in the mix of all that,
You have your
um,
sister's wedding.
I have my sister's wedding. Yep, on uh, it's actually on my birthday.
Oh
So
wow. Did
that's
she and she was like, "This is what's happening."
yeah, yeah. That's There are some special circumstances that made it
Right.
have to be this way,
Yeah.
but it is happening on my birthday. So
Okay.
it's interesting. I'll get to have my family around me, so that'll be fun.
Cool. Where's the wedding gonna be?
So it's in Tampa, Florida.
Ah, okay. Okay, very
Yep.
cool. Well, enjoy all the things, vacation, getting ready for this. This is your sister's wedding, and all the other weddings that you're actually working this season. I'm trying to get a couple of my clients ready right now, so we're getting close to wedding season part two, if you will. And so
Well, I haven't had any family members get married since I've become a wedding videographer. So this is like the first family member.
really.
And so I'm not filming her wedding, but we were talking about whether or not she should have a first look. And so she was just asking me about what my clients do, and so that's the topic for today is why first looks are so great. And of course, I had to tell her you must do a first look.
Yeah, I try and steer everybody in that direction, and unless they're like really like morally opposed to the first look, like really like it would ruin their day if they had to go down in this direction. I really and truly feel like the doing a first look is the way to go. It is the most efficient way to manage the day. And I realize that the day is not all about efficiency, but you get all of your pictures out of the way. It allows you to like enjoy cocktail hour. It makes sure that you don't miss anything. So like if you do need extra time later, like you have it for anything that you might have come up as an extra. And then like you can just like enjoy and party during your reception. So to me, I'm all about it. Plus, I don't know, there's something like, and I get it. There is the sense of I'd like to see their reaction walking down the aisle, but I also say some people are just not built for that. So most of my couples, I would say, are a little bit shy, and they're like, yeah, I absolutely wouldn't want to have my reaction that's meant just for my person in front of an entire audience. And I think the first look also helps with that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Having a first look be that happens during the ceremony. I couldn't figure out should I talk about it one way or the other. But if people choose not to do a first look, like you said, their emotions are going to be on full display in front of everybody.
Yes.
And you're right. For some people, that is a bit intrusive for some couples. And for others, it is not. But we were talking right before we started this episode about church. Like most people who do churches, especially Catholic weddings,
Yeah.
do not do the first look. And I think you were mentioning that you had some clients who were church weddings, but they weren't Catholic, but they were still Christian in a church, and they did do a first look.
Yeah. So I do have, like I said, the majority of my clients, I would say, do a first look. I don't think I've ever had a Catholic ceremony where they chose to do the first look. So I don't know if it's just kind of, it is more traditional. So again, if they're going that route already, like it might just be that they're just aiming for more tradition in general. But I will say that, so I think the biggest difference that I will say, like when you're doing the Catholic wedding, is there's usually a natural break, right? Like if they're going to the church, there's usually a fairly big block of time between the ceremony and the reception, so they can take pictures afterwards, and it isn't so bad. We can talk about that a whole other time on what do people do in between the ceremony and the reception when there is a break. But for the first look purposes, like a lot of times with the Catholic ceremonies, like just in general, my couples tend to want that first look to be as they're walking down the aisle. So the more traditional way, if you will, as opposed to planning a first look that is just the two of them, that's private, which is how I tend to steer the day if possible. Again, it's a preference thing, and I will never say no if that is what people really want to do. And I have had couples, even if it isn't a church wedding, where they are just like, no, I absolutely wanna, I want him to see me walking down the aisle and see his reaction with everybody else. There's some people that's what they want, right? Or the reverse, right? He's the one who's saying like, no, I definitely want to keep it secret right up until, I want this natural reaction to be the thing that everybody sees. And so as long as they can agree on what we're trying to do, I will go with whatever they want. But if they're asking for my opinion, the first look just makes the day smoother. It makes it so that you have all this time to like take, because I guess here's the thing, I'm not a photographer, right? But the thing is, after the wedding has come and gone, what you will have left is the pictures and the video, right? Like that's
Right.
what you have as your remainder. And if you don't allocate enough time for photos, you kind of miss it, right? Like you don't get, like, you can't be as in the moment and like present and enjoying and grasping everything when you're the one who's like getting married. And so if you don't have those memories to look back on later, it's just a little bit harder. And so what happens with people who don't do the first look for whatever reason is that you basically only have cocktail hour to take pictures, which is an hour, together. So I do try and say like, hey, like let's try and get all of like one partner's pictures done and the other partner's pictures done, so that we're only basically trying to do the couple and family photos. But it's still a lot to crunch into an hour. And I think one of the things that people don't understand about that hour is your guests are there, which means they've come to see you and they are going to want to interact with you during that time. And so it sort of delays the photo taking process and getting, the couple's portraits and, even family portraits. People wander off. It's almost impossible to get everybody back together at that point. And so you end up missing a lot, or spending your entire reception trying to hunt down these pictures. You lose the light in a lot of cases. And then it's just, again, like it's just this whole thing where like you kind of miss everything, photo wise.
Yeah. In addition to being more efficient and having time to take photos, the first look is great because uh, you get to have both partners together in anticipation of the wedding. And so sometimes couples don't want to be separate and kind of have this anticipation. So, this whole thing, the opposite of what you said, which is they want to see their partner as they're walking down the aisle. But other times, other couples want to spend more time together. And so I think that's very important for couples that are sometimes intentional about how they want to run their wedding. And particularly with non traditional couples, they want to throw tradition to the side and enjoy the day together. And so
Right.
they'll have that first look and get to spend time not only taking pictures, but just being together and enjoying each other's company,
Yep.
as well as enjoying some of their closest friends and family around them for a couple of hours before the ceremony even takes place. Um, and then, of course, like you said, the efficiency then kicks in because right after the ceremony, they can enjoy cocktail hour and spend time with the guests who are like
Right.
chomping at the bit to see them and hug them and kiss them as soon
Right.
as they say I do. So I think we're in agreement. The first look is a must. It's not a must, but
It's highly recommended.
it's
Highly
highly
recommended.
recommended. Yeah,
Highly recommended. I do think, like, again, like I said, I'll go with whatever people want to do, and if you there are reasons and feelings and emotions tied behind. No, this is what I want. I've had couples do a first touch instead of a first look, so they do at least get something of them together beforehand, but all the portraits again still happen to it, and as long as they're aware, right, like as long as they're aware of the impact of their decision and they're okay with that, then hey, we will do whatever works best for the two of you. But whew, so much better, so much better. So the highly recommend definitely is always like my first pitch, and I'm not the photographer, right? I'm just trying to help out and make sure that you get the most out of your day, and I feel like it is the way to get the most impact of being together, seeing each other, having time with just each other, right? Like, which you might not get to do as much once your guests have arrived. So all of those things that I just think makes the first look a great thing.
yeah. You know, I don't think there's much else to say about this, Martine.
I agree. I agree.
I
So
feel like we're wrapping up a little prematurely, but I don't. I'm about brevity lately, and
we'll call it good. So hey, listen, if you have any questions about it, definitely feel free to reach out to either of us. We're happy to give the opinion. But on that note, Jason, we'll call it a wrap, and I'll see you on the next one.
bye, Martine.
Bye.